It is an inescapable fact that technological development is increasingly impacting economic and social development of countries, so much so that smaller countries face a constant challenge to ensure that their economies are not denied critical opportunities for growth. Government recognizes that this challenge is very much present in the Guyanese society and has initiated the revolutionary One Laptop Per Family project, which to date is perhaps one of the most transformational development programs ever undertaken in the country. Recently, the program evolved into a critical phase whereby students who were part of a school-based pilot project, which commenced in January, were given the green light to take the laptops from the respective training hubs into their homes. In Region 2, the 23 CSEC students of the Abramsul Secondary School who undertook the training program were elated at the prospects of using their newly acquired skills and laptops to enlighten the wider Essequibo community on the workings of these highly technological devices.
The One Laptop Per Family project is focused around helping people develop their skills and using the internet. Developing their skills by using the laptop, but more importantly, linking children, families and the communities together. Nothing has changed. That message has been the message from when we launched in January, when the President launched a project. It's the same message. The computers have particular programs on there to help you and your families develop. I must say, HM, when I came to the school previously and I met the students, I was taken back by some of the entrepreneurial thoughts and comments that the students made. And I can remember some of the faces in front of me, and I probably can remember specific points they made. When I asked the students, how would they help others? This was the following comments that stuck in my mind. I can go and talk to my local shops or the people in the business communities and show them what IT can do. I was taken back by that comment. Another comment that they mentioned was, we can work in the community and we can probably show them information on health.
Each of the recipients were urged to identify 3 disadvantaged families and introduce them to the computer.
And so we are moving this program into the phase of the knowledge. The laptop for us is just like the tools of any trade. Like you need hammer and saw and nails and lumber to build your mansion. This laptop is just a tool to get even more and better knowledge. We are going to be expecting that every one of the recipients today, they are specially chosen. And for those of you who didn't get a laptop, they were specially chosen because they are part of the CXC IT class. They just wrote CXC, right? Most of you? Information Technology. So they are unique. And we are seeing before us what could become a core of trainers for other people. So as simple as you are, you're going to have to use this tool to help other families get introduced to the computer.
The main objective of the program is to link children, families, and communities to the world at large through technology.
Receiving a laptop, it means that not only would my sister be enhancing information technology, also our neighborhood. Because as was said, she will have to help 3 other families, train 3 other families. And when those 3 families would be trained, they will be able to help others also. So it will be a continuous process.
It will help my family a lot. My son really interested in laptops. He interested in all the programs. He wants to become a technician in information technology.
It means a lot to us because we never know about it. Okay? We never know about a computer. I never know how to put it on as well. I feel Sheldon might be able to teach me and my family. more about it.
It's a great opportunity because I know a lot about the computer since in school in EDPM and information technology, and I will help my parents, my cousin, even the old people that I know, because it's a great opportunity to help people so that they can learn, even to get them to be able to get a job. Even to me, I will get a job, so that it's a good opportunity.
It means a lot to me because there's people in my community who are less fortunate, and I can help them to understand how to use the computer.
Most families, right, it's like really hard on them, like to send the kids to school, and I know information technology hasn't been in each school right now, and it will be like a very good opportunity for most families.
So firstly, I must say I'm very honored to be a part of this program, and really it's like a stepping stone for each family who would receive, less fortunate and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, it's a very good feeling being a part of the program. As the program states, I would like to reach out to less fortunate people out there in my community, help them out, teach them how to use the computer, teach them how to use the internet, and show alright, you have simple DVD clubs, you can teach them how to set up a database, to manage their system, help to enhance their business so they can be more productive in that way.
The kids in this region, many of them are very unfortunate in that they can't provide a laptop for themselves, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to expand on their knowledge, because they would not have been able to afford this in the first place, and thanks to the government that this initiative has been in effect, and now that we're seeing that they're receiving their computers. And I know that we have good kids on the school course, and they have prior knowledge of information technology, so I think that they will make good use of these laptops.
Meanwhile, similar activities were conducted in the capital city, as 8 Hinterland students who were housed at the Hinterland Student Dormitory received their laptops. The students assisted 50 other students at the dormitory in acquiring ICT skills.
Just show my little brothers how to use it, how to create documents, how to go on the internet and sort the schoolwork. Okay,
what other skill have you learned from this training process?
Learn to type more fast, create a document, and go on the internet and search out my schoolwork.
I think it would help me to do assignment more easy and do more studying.
For schoolwork, most of the times, go on the internet, find information, and type out the different projects and so. It would help you in getting more information, right? Being specific, giving better work to teachers.
That's all I could say. It could help me mostly during doing the assignments in school, mostly by helping others where they want the specific information through internet. So it could mostly be help. I could think as when I come back, I think I might get better grades.
The beneficiaries hail from Ragoobar Region 5, Aishalton Region 9, Whittaker Region 8, and Wowna Scheme Region 1. At Durban Backlands, 30 such recipients who were selected helped 90 others to also enrich their knowledge, thereby reducing the gap between those with and without knowledge.
I intend on not only carrying the computer home to help my family, but also bring it back to VYC when it is necessary, and they have IT class to help all the other students that are coming into the lessons as the days go by.
Since the training program commenced, how has you aided your
Well, first of all, I didn't really know too much about computer, just mostly the basics. And coming to the IT classes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I've learned to use all the Microsoft Excels and Word to use it more better, how to go online and to help myself with assignments and also others.
I have received my one laptop for family, and it will benefit me and my family because in case we have any assignment or so to do, we can go do it immediately, don't have to wait to go to the library or anything. And I'll intend to help people in the community, person in the community, to when no one have a laptop or so I will bring it and share it with them till they access the homework.
This computer has helped me to benefit in doing my SBA to complete my 6C, which I recently finished. I plan to pass on the knowledge with my brother, my older siblings, my little brother and little sister, so that they could develop their computer skills, so I want to share knowledge with my family and my neighbors.
This laptop to teach my neighbors and persons around me, especially persons in my home, to learn more about this laptop and how to use the internet and other programs on the laptop usefully, and for them to gain when I take it home.
This laptop will benefit me by getting my assignment done and homework done, and it will benefit my family also, so that they could get more interested in IT and get more skills how to use the computer. Well, I plan about calling over my neighbors and show them how to work or do Microsoft Word and Excel, and showing them different stuffs in the computer so that they can get the knowledge and understanding.
This move by government will now allow family members and villagers to begin learning information communication technology skills. The program, which has received overwhelming response from the public, will see 90,000 laptops being delivered to priority groups across the country. In October, the OLPF Secretariat hoped to distribute 27,000 under the transitional process. The Protected Areas Bill, now an act, comes at a time when the world is placing renewed focus on sustainable development, given the impacts of climate change. More importantly, it brings Guyana in line with certain international obligations, one of which is the Millennium Development Goal 7, which speaks to environmental sustainability.
This bill will fit into a legislative framework, and this legislative framework is defined first and foremost in Article 36 of our Constitution, which states that in the interest of present and future generations, the state will protect and make rational use of its land, mineral and water resources, as well as its fauna and flora, and will take all appropriate measures to conserve and improve the environment. In addition to that framework, us fulfilling that constitutional requirement, and then this bill is in furtherance of that article. The Protected Areas Bill is also consistent with the EPA Act of 1996, which provide for the management, conservation, and protection and improvement of the environment.
The bill provides for the conservation of Guyana's natural heritage and natural capital, the creation, management, and financing of a national system of protected areas, maintenance of ecosystem services of national and global importance, including climate regulation, establishment of a Protected Areas Commission and a Protected Areas Trust Fund, fulfillment of Guyana's international environmental responsibilities, public participation in protected areas, and conservation.
In the development and in the drafting of this legislation, extensive consultations were held with targeted communities as well as national stakeholders, and that process continued until 2010. And then in 2011, just recently, in addition to the national inputs and the consultations that were held, the government, working very closely with international conservation organizations, such as the World Wildlife Fund and Conservation International, also made substantial input into the finalization of the current bill that is currently before the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, a pertinent question will be asked is why is it re-legislating protective areas when we need to exploit our natural resources and provide revenue and employment to fuel sustained economic development? And the answer to that, Mr. Speaker, is very simple. protected areas, in fact, have been proven to contribute positively to economic development. And in fact, it has been established that there is a direct correlation between protected areas and poverty reduction. Also, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the area that is being proposed, and Guyana intends to achieve the Convention on Biodiversity target of 2010, that is 10%, is minimum in terms of the landmass area. Also, it will not prevent those communities or those areas declared from engaging in certain types of economic activity. So it will not, as it were, prevent those communities from enjoying resources. But we can also go further to that, Mr. Speaker, and look at the direct economic benefit or inflows that protected areas attract. We can look at Guatemala, what happened in Guatemala, or currently takes place, Venezuela, and even right here in Guyana, even before the establishment or us bringing the protected areas bill to the National Assembly, Guyana was in fact and has received in excess of 2 million euros for the work we've done in terms of protected areas, the declaration of protected areas, in terms of giving those areas status. And we've seen significant financial flows, as I've said, in excess of 2 million euros, particularly from the German Development Agency. And those resources went directly to the targeted communities. Also, we've seen greater interest internationally being given to Guyana in terms as a country where we not only preach, but we practice sustainable development. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, we've also seen resources, albeit in smaller quantities, coming from the WWF and CI and other groups in terms of supporting our efforts in moving in the direction as we're seeking to proceed in developing a national protected area and also giving it the legislative status. Another question persons may ask, Mr. Speaker, is why it is that we've decided to go the route of having protected areas legislation. And would this conflict with our RED Plus strategy or what we consider our larger low carbon development strategy, which cornerstone has been the avoided incentives for avoided deforestation? And I wish to point out, Mr. Speaker, there's absolutely no conflict, or would there be any duplication? Rather, protected areas, as we've seen and we know, and even as adumbrated by the Convention on Biodiversity, points out that protected areas are created not only for rare and endemic species, but also protects landscapes, sacred sites, cultural sites, archaeological sites. And certainly it is wider than what the RED Plus strategy would focus on, and that is on the issue of avoided deforestation. So it goes, in fact, outside of the state forest area. And Mr. Speaker, also our RED Plus strategy is distinct and separate from the National Protected Area thrust that we have before us here in the National Assembly. As I said, it's one on avoided deforestation and spans primarily the entire state forest. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, the protected areas, as I said, our goal is not to exceed at this point in time more than 10% of our country. And whilst the RED Plus or the LCDS can be considered an alternative development strategy which brings payments for ecosystem services in lieu of rampant and unchecked exploitation of these resources, it also allows within those particular areas mining and agriculture and forestry activities, all done under a strict multiple land use policy framework.
This piece of legislation does not in any way impinge on the rights of indigenous communities, but rather it empowers them to make suggestions and give recommendations with regards to the declaration of any Amerindian land as a protected area.
We need to participate and to take the lead to advance conservation while we manage in a sustainable way the use of our rich and natural heritage, the holding area where our rich biological diversity, natural landscapes, seascapes, and wetlands are located. This requires, Mr. Speaker, a greater acceptance and recognition by all of us to conform with the laws and regulations that seek to enhance the sustainability of such habitats, even if it demands lifestyle changes in the way we treat our environment, so as to ensure the effectiveness of the proposed protected areas bill and attainment of all the stated objectives when it becomes law. The People's Progressive Party civic government once more is way ahead of any country with respect to directing the focus on the indigenous population within our country legislative architect. Tell me, which country with indigenous population is bolder than Guyana to frontally record through legislation the inclusion and commitments for addressing indigenous development needs and issues, which of course includes impact on land ownership, forest, rights issues, opportunities, both social, political and economic. And today, ebbed in the proposed protected area bill, the will of this government to provide legal recognition to the conservation efforts and achievements of Amerindian villages and Amerindian communities. I must say, Mr. Speaker, this is a commitment demonstrated and seeks to foster and recognize contribution of our Amerindian population to national development.
With regards to the mining industry as it relates to the provisions of the legislation, no more than an additional 5 to 10% of Guyana's land space may become inaccessible to mining, as carried out at the small and medium scale levels. However, large-scale mining may become possible if a strong case can be submitted.
This bill opens the door to and creates the expectation of new areas being declared and set up as protected areas. But we in Guyana would not be starting from scratch. There are existing areas that would form a starting core of protected areas, and the procedure for declaring new areas takes account of the existing situation at the proposed area and provides opportunity for people to be heard and also time for adjustments. With this bill, for the foreseeable future, no more than an additional 5 to 10% of Guyana's area may become inaccessible to mining, as carried out at the small and medium scale level of mining. But large-scale mining would remain possible in those areas if a very strong case can be submitted. Yes, miners would face a few more hurdles if they wanted to mine in some areas, and they will have to achieve higher levels of mining. But this is not a new challenge to miners and mining. Miners and mining regularly move from the most easily accessible and recoverable deposits to the more distant and more difficult ones. The passage of and the implementation of this bill, I see, would be positive for miners and the mining industry in that it provides what is termed in many cases regulatory certainty.
This is Iwan Henry. He hails from Morikabai in Region 5. Iwan is a beneficiary of the government's Hinterland Scholarship Program, and he has just completed his tenure at a city school. He is among 68 who successfully completed the program in 2011.
I feel happy that I completed this exercise and this program because I serve as a role model to my village, because I know that when I go back into the village and as being a role model, the youth then will look up to me and want to be like me, like achieving successfully. As you can see, I'm the all-rounder best performance at the scholarship graduation ceremony, and I feel proud. I would like to say thank you, because when I was in the dark and now you put me to light, because sometimes I'll be at home doing nothing, studying what I can do in the future, but now that I had this scholarship, I feel great that, I could do something now with my life.
The lives of Guyana's indigenous people have improved with the provision of essential social services, including education. The Hinterland Scholarship Program has replaced the Amerindian Scholarship Program. The Ministry of Amerindian Affairs is now tasked with the responsibility of ensuring the safety and well-being of the students to enable them to realize their optimum potential.
I had a great experience. I would never forget it. It was unforgettable. And as I said, if I could get a second opportunity to come back, I'll gladly do so. I hope that when my CX results come out, it will show a good sign, not only to me, but also to the scholarship and to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs.
At a graduation ceremony on July 6, symbolically at the Amerindian village in Sukhai, students were awarded for their performance. Government is committed to ensuring that every child receives primary, secondary and tertiary education. It has been investing in the construction of more primary and secondary schools on the coast as well as in the hinterland regions.
Given the important role of an educated and a well-trained population for the future development of a nation, and having regard to our government's concern that the quality and the kind of education being delivered is relevant, useful, applicable, and note also anticipatory of our country's future needs. We educate you not only for today, but for tomorrow. Having regard also to government's determination to ensure that there is equity in terms of access to quality education, irrespective of ethnicity, geographic location, costs. Having regard to all of these factors, the Hinterland Scholarship Program, on which millions of dollars have been expended over the past 2 or more decades on our mostly Amerindian beneficiaries, is commendable.
Over 50% of the hinterland students completing primary education can now have access to secondary and tertiary education under the PPPC government. In further supporting the parents in the hinterland to afford their offsprings an education, the administration embarked on several initiatives, including the school uniform and feeding programs, which have been allocated huge sums in the national budgets for their continuation.
We have moved from the point where less than 25% of those who completed primary school could access a secondary education to the point where over 50% do. I challenge anybody to dispute that, including you. We have arrived at a point where our hinterland students who perform creditably can and do access technical and tertiary education, and you stand as an example, as evidence of what I'm talking about. Many are studying abroad, Cuba, China, medicine, engineering, while many others have become doctors. I met a young doctor, Cameron. I was so pleased, pleasantly surprised, an Amerindian. And she's one of two. And there are others coming, studying in Cuba. Doctors, midwives, nurses, medics, dentists. I traveled with a young pilot, ASL pilot to Mabruma. And you know where he's from? He's from Mabruma. And he's Amerindian. You know, these are things that make us feel proud that our investment in education, and in this instant, the investment in education in our hinterland villages and communities are bearing fruitful returns. We have further supported the efforts of our hinterland mothers and fathers to send their children to school by providing uniforms to the children, and through the medium of the National School Feeding Program targeting pupils from nursery to grade 2 in the primary school. Be assured that we will continue to enhance our education standards so that not only you, but your brothers and sisters to come can benefit from a more modernized education system offering new learning opportunities.
Government's budgetary allocations to the education sector continue to increase annually, moving from $1.7 billion in 1992 to $24.3 billion in 2011. The Hinterland Scholarship Program caters for students who gain 470 to 479 marks at the National Grade 6 Assessment to be granted regional scholarships to attend schools in their regions. Those with 480 and above are granted national scholarships to attend secondary schools in Georgetown.
His Excellency President Sukhdeo commissioned a spanking new dormitory on September 3, 2010. The objective of the dormitory is to have all hinterland scholarship students housed at one location in order to monitor their social and academic progress. Currently, we have 52 students housed. We expect to have an increase in September for the new academic year.
The Hinterland Scholarship Program is one of many commendable initiatives and investment which has been bringing good yields.
I want to say thank you to the government because they've actually helped me to live my dream, and I'm really appreciative of that.
I am grateful to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs for affording me the opportunity to pursue studies in forestry at the Guyana School of Agriculture. I am also grateful for the support from the staff of the Hinterland Scholarship Program over the past year. I will endeavor to serve my community with the knowledge I acquired for the betterment for all our people.
Being a part of the Hinterland Scholarship Program was a very great experience, and I speak for everyone when I say this. Thinking back, it went by so fast. To all the staff of the Hinterland Scholarship Program, I say a big thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being our guardians. Thank you for the guidelines. Thank you for the parties. Thank you for the monies you provided us. And most importantly, thank you for the opportunity to have such a great experience.
It was a great opportunity for me when I was chosen as one of many to be on the Hinterland Scholarship. In September 2009, I was chosen to attend Government Technical Institute and the only girl student. I must say thank you to the Scholarship Division for giving me such opportunity to pursue my area of interest.
Today, hinterland communities across Guyana can boast of universal access to nursery and primary education as government continues to invest in the construction of more secondary schools in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 to improve in the secondary aspect.
The growth and development of the rice industry remains a top priority of the government, as numerous interventions have been made with the aim of making the industry more productive for maximum benefits to its many producers. In line with this objective, Guyana secured yet another historic rice deal with its Spanish-speaking neighbor, Venezuela. The U.S. $48 million agreement, which was inked by the Guyana Rice Development Board and the Venezuelan government, will pave the way for the export of 30,000 tons of white rice and 50,000 tons of paddy.
If we compare the latest contract with the first contract we have, we will see the significant, and perhaps you can say the leap in the numbers, because the first contract was for 10,000 tons of white rice and 30,000 tons of paddy. This is coming at a very, very crucial time for us because, as you know, we are expected to have a bumper crop, notwithstanding the effects of La Nina, and I think it is a tribute to our farmers.
The Venezuelan market, which is the only market where paddy is being exported directly, allows for some amount of competitiveness, particularly since the market prices were depressed internationally. However, over the past months, prices have been increasing steadily. Guyana currently exports 70% of its produce, and as the demand for the commodity increases due to the shortfall on the world market, requests have been made for government to support other countries apart from Venezuela.
But also, it speaks of our drainage and irrigation systems being able to cope with levels of rainfall higher than what we saw in 2005 great floods, but at the same time being able to minimize loss and even exceeding our projections. And the latest numbers indicate that the original target we had set for the first crop was just about 180,000 tons of rice, and based on all indications, we will be able to produce 200,000 tons of rice for the first crop, and I'm only giving you the first crop numbers.
Staffers from the Burma Rice Research Station have been working tirelessly to employ technologies, and already 2 new varieties were released in 2009, GRDB 9 and 10, while a flood-tolerant variety, a collaborative effort with the International Rice Research Institute, will come on stream shortly. Minister Persaud, however, called on farmers to continue to work around the clock so as to ensure that all paddies is harvested so as to supply market demands regionally and internationally.
We've seen that the prices that farmers have been receiving have been improved, and certainly we do expect that this trend will continue in this regard. And with the conclusion of this market and this contract, which was done just a few days ago, I do hope that it will have a greater impact in terms of price that farmers receive, but also millers and exporters on that market. As we know, and we've made the point, that the Venezuela market for us is a prized market. It's a new market, and it's also a market where we're seeing better prices. I want to also make it absolutely clear that the Venezuelan market is not coming at the expense of any other market.
The historic rice agreement will not see the government losing on other markets, since it comes at a time when there have been constant increases in production as efforts continue apace to modernize the industry. In December 2009, the first agreement for the shipment of 10,000 tons of paddy and 40,000 tons of white rice was inked. This was followed by a revised agreement inked by President Sukhdeo and Venezuela's President Hugo Chavez during a visit to the Spanish-speaking country in July. Guyana's rice industry has grown to such an extent that it is now rated as the second most important agricultural industry, which enjoys the application of modern technology in years of research and technology transfer. Government plans to continue this trend this year and to ensure that all necessary steps are taken in an effort to protect the local rice industry to ensure that it remains viable to secure markets for rice exports.
A teacher is described as a person who molds a child's education, as well as other aspects of his or her development. For this reason, the government of Guyana has been emphasizing teacher training so that students are equipped with a bright future. The Education Ministry's aim to achieve 70% trained teachers by 2013 is now even closer, with the graduation at the National Cultural Center of 515 teachers from the Cyril Potter College of Education.
I am indeed pleased to note that already, with the massive training program of teacher education in our country taking place, that we have almost achieved the 70% of trained teachers in Guyana, in keeping with the goal set in the education strategic plan.
CPCE is the sole machinery that churns out the required number of teachers.
When the history of this institution is catalogued, this 83rd year will stand out as an important year in the history of teacher education and training in Guyana. It was in this year when the college, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, took measures to revolutionize the way in which teacher education and training is delivered in Guyana. As conceptualized under the Guyana Improving Teacher Education Project, the Cyril Potter College of Education will become a truly dual-mode institution, offering students the option of accessing a quality training program through distance learning, face-to-face, or a blended approach.
In ensuring teachers' capacity is enhanced, the U.S. $5.12 million Guyana Improving Teacher Education Program was introduced to improve effectiveness and efficiency in the delivery of teacher education in Guyana.
To accomplish this, emphasis will be placed upon upgrading the knowledge and skills mix of the teacher educators, enabling them to competently deliver the curriculum to the trainees and model their teaching.
In light of challenges faced with shortage of staff, the college's administration is keen on staying on the path to produce quality teachers. This effort has received a boost with the establishment of an ICT lab.
It is envisioned that the college will be provided with the physical resources and institutional capacity that will allow it to prepare a cadre of teachers who possess the caliber to make a positive impact on the country's education system.
The Vreedanup Region 3 Center has again excelled, producing the best graduating student, Villain Paris, who achieved a distinction. The same center produced 2 top performers in 2010, who were also males.
Well, it was wonderful. 3 hard years of working and the success, we finally reaping the success.
I feel very excited. All the hard work has definitely paid off. It's been a long and tough road, but everything worked out well in the end.
I'm a professional teacher from today onwards. Right now I'm so excited, I'm overwhelmed. I can't even express my feelings, but I'm so happy that this day has finally came true. Most of all, I want to thank God for seeing me through. I want to thank my family members, all the lecturers at college, everybody, a special thank you.
I'm very excited and
You know, knowing my results on the line going up and waiting to know if we're going to have pass or credit, it was very nervous. But to know that I had credit, I was very, very excited. It's an amazing moment. I can't explain.
Right now, I'm just overjoyed. After 3 years, you know, I would like to thank everyone that has helped me in all possible ways.
I'm definitely excited. I feel on top of the world.
I was really excited. I was really excited because I was wondering what it would have been with me. But I feel so happy to know that I've graduated.
I'm extremely happy that I've been able to graduate. It was 3 years of training, and after the end of 3 years, I'm now graduating. So I'm very happy for that.
Really, really excited. Well, having fun, meeting all my friends and relatives and even my lecturers, tutors, and giving thanks and praise to them because they have helped me through these 3 years to become what I am today, a professional teacher, right? And I must give thanks and praise to God as well because He's the one that gives me the guidance and the courage as well because I pray to Him every day of my life.
While hundreds of teachers graduate from the CPC yearly, the need arises for them to obtain higher qualifications.
Those of you who are coming out of the college are coming out with a trained teacher's certificate. And the first point I wish to make, policy-wise, is that we are working out mechanisms to ensure that you upgrade yourselves so that you can proceed to the University of Guyana and obtain a degree in education.
The presence of more qualified teachers in the education system will definitely result in the transformation of the nation.
This is just the beginning of your career as a teacher in the noble profession. A lot of hard work is in store for you, especially in these changing times, both in Guyana and internationally. These are exciting and challenging times, and the role of teachers are critical for the success of the transformation that's taken place in many countries, and especially developing countries. We are hoping with the revisioning of teacher education that is in progress right now, that a new breed of teachers will be coming out of the Teachers Training College to make an indelible impact in the transformation of our country.
The best education is received in a conducive environment. This was highlighted by guest speaker, Director, University of Guyana, Berbice Campus, Professor Daizal Samad.
I believe that the Cyril Potter College of Education to be central to the enterprise of education in this nation. CPC Berbice Secondary Division under Mrs. Norma Stewart, who sits before us here, now has ample classroom space, office space, lunchrooms, cafeteria services, stationery and photocopying services, internet connectivity, space for the computer center, room for the library, access to the science libraries and laboratories, and administration offices. That's what they have. The result of this kind of sensible initiative, collectively implemented, are three. One, student teachers in that location now learn in an atmosphere conducive to the production of better trained teachers. Two, the physical plant of the University of Guyana Berbice campus is now more fully utilized towards the nationwide move for excellence in teaching and learning. Three, out of these two, we will surely get better students since we will train inevitably better teachers. I say to you that this training of teachers, so that we have better output from students, I will say to you that the teachers of this nation and the children of this nation deserve no less. They deserve no less.
The teachers who graduated are from the Anna Regina, Georgetown, Maruka, New Amsterdam, Port Kaituma, Rose Hall, Vredenhoop, Turkine, and Linden centers. The Education Ministry recognizes the link between quality teachers and the achievement of the required outcomes. As such, the ministry has spared no efforts to ensure teachers receive quality education. This can be seen in the many investments made by the administration which cater for the provision of ICT labs at the college, the implementation of the associate degree in education, upgrading teacher educators' qualifications, the introduction of new training programs such as the Professional Continuous Development and non-graduate programs, the establishment of a National Teachers Council, introduction of parenting conferences, improved remuneration package, and the National Teachers Awards. The 2011 multi-year agreement package is being implemented in July.